Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Politics Lab on YouTube. My name is Bill Muck. I'm a professor of political science at North Central College, and I'm joined, as always, by my colleague and best friend, Dr. Phil Barker, who's a professor of political science at Keene State College. Hey, Phil.
Hey, Bill. How's it going?
It's going wonderful. I got vaccinated today. Big development.
So jealous.
Oh, I'm feeling invincible. This is a good day.
You got to wait your 2 weeks, Bill. Don't go out clubbing tonight or anything.
No, this is true. I'm going to be still double masking it for a long period of time, but it's, it feels like we're moving at least in the right direction. So,
yeah, I can't wait.
All right. Yeah, for our short video today, we're going to talk about Donald Trump, which we haven't hit on in the last couple of weeks, but he gave a big speech at the CPAC conference, the Conservative Political Action Conference this weekend. Also, his tax returns have officially been sent to the Manhattan District Attorney, looking into sort of shenanigans going on there. Phil, what's your sense of the state of Donald Trump these days? Really good? Not so good. How's he feeling?
Well, I don't know how he's feeling. It's such a weird, it's a weird way.
Yeah.
Like, he's so strange. So I don't know, but I think that he probably feels pretty good. CPAC. I mean, on the positive side for Donald Trump, CPAC this week revealed or reminded us that the Republican Party is solidly Donald Trump's party. I mean, the CPAC's always been a little quirky, but it's like full on like cult of personality stuff this week. I mean, it was the president of Goya going out and talking about how Trump really won the election. And I mean, and then Trump, this is his first big sort of appearance after ending his term in office. And yeah, I mean, it was Trump, right? It was everything that Trump is. And so it's his party. It'll be, I mean, he read the names of people who voted against him in the impeachment process. So, that's all the same. He has to feel good about his control of the party. I think in reality, he shouldn't be feeling very good, because I think the fact that he had to hand over his tax documents, his financial records this week is not good for him.
That's never good.
No. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he probably is more nervous about what's going on in New York with the tax document, and had to love every single moment of CPAC. I mean, they had a golden idol of him.
That's right.
I mean, I don't even know how people don't see the religious connections of golden idols. I mean, but he was a hit, and you're right. You're spot on. I mean, he is in total control of the Republican Party right now. Whether it was Ted Cruz or Josh Hawley, anybody who talked about how great he was. It was as if the big lie that's out there it was entirely true and believable. I mean, it is a cult of personality there. I was thinking today how long that will last. I think there's no question it is, the party's firmly behind him. And where are we 6 months from now? Where are we a year from now? I will say I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched parts of the speech. It was boring. I mean, Trump is usually entertaining. This felt a little blah. So, I don't know if it's just that he's out of practice or if he's getting older or whatever it was. I mean, there's no guarantee that he's going to continue to be engaging. But, man, what a bizarro world that is when Marjorie Taylor Greene is a star, Golden Trump's running around all over the place. I mean, it's an alternative reality to what's going on in Manhattan, which should have him very, very worried.
Yeah, even Mitt Romney had a quote this week that sort of was very explicit about recognizing that he's like in this tiny minority in the party. Like, everyone within the party, I think, recognizes it's his. You're right. It'll be interesting to see where it goes, because he didn't enjoy being president, right? He didn't like the work. He didn't like any of it. He liked the game of it. He liked the reality show aspect of it. He liked the rallies and all of that. And so it'll be interesting to see if he can get that sort of validation in other places, because if I'm him, I don't want to do all of that again. I want to just go on the road and do my rallies and have people adore me and not have to actually do any of the stuff that goes with it. And I could see it going that way, but it's also not clear to me. Those two may be intertwined. Like you said, if he's not running for office and not playing this political role, how long will people show up to hear him speak? And so, it's a I don't know. It's like a bargain that a devil's bargain that he has to like make about whether what is he willing to take the bad along with the good.
And that means that everybody else who is conceivably a candidate in 2024 has play the game. So you saw
Yeah.
Nikki Haley again over this week. You know, one week Nikki Haley is attacking Donald Trump, and the next week she's saying he's giving good speeches, and boy, he's still a leader of the party. I mean, you have all of this sort of awkwardness from the party where nobody can really assert themselves because of the dominant force that is Donald Trump. It's a really weird thing, and I imagine that others like you said, Mitt Romney and Mitch McConnell would love to just move on and start a new, I don't know, a new face for the Republican Party. But Trump is going to have none of it. I mean, he's reading names, right? I mean, that's, pointing out those who have not been faithful to the golden god that is Trump.
It's a weird dilemma because it is so totally Trump's party that the people who are trying to be the next Trump, the Ted Cruzes and the Josh Hawleys, stand no chance, right? Because they're nothing in the shadow of Trump. It's not, and so they have to be hoping that he bores of it, right? That he
Yeah.
tires of it. The Mitt Romneys recognize they don't stand a chance. So it's a weird situation in which the party is it feels like maybe they're all on pause, like the Nikki Haley's and stuff stand no chance unless Trump gets out of the way. They're battling for this position that I don't know is there, and if Trump is gone, if Trump does decide to go, then we've talked about that a lot too. I don't know that it's Nikki Haley's not going to she's not going to win the Trump vote, right? Like that's I don't.
No.
It's weird to watch them try to sort of everyone else try to figure out what exactly the party stands for and how to stake out that spot right now.
And it's unlikely that Trump would allow himself to name an heir, right? I mean, he's not the kind of person who would give up the limelight to somebody else. So I think that's really, so it means that it's going to be 4 years of this, which is going to be more weirdness. To connect to the taxes real quick, who knows what's going to happen there? It's hard to know if there's any there or not. I will say, like looking at France today, so former
Right.
President Nicolas Sarkozy is going to jail. The former president of South Africa is going to have to go testify. There are heads of state around the world who go to jail. And in the United States, we just sort of assume that that's not possible. But Donnie may be facing some real indictments here if there's impropriety or illegality in anywhere. And there's a pretty good chance
There is.
that Trump has done some stuff.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it seems pretty clear that there's impropriety in a variety of places. The tax documents it's about taxes, it's about the Trump organization, it's about all sorts of other stuff. There's impropriety in there. It's a matter of whether or not there's a political will to actually prosecute that and whether that, what happens with that. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about that on the podcast. I think that it's good to see Sarkozy going to jail. If you break the law, if you try to bribe a judge in a case to find out information on a case, so he's facing charges on other things, and he's trying to bribe a judge to find out information on the other case, you should
Yeah.
just like everyone else, you should
Right.
face criminal prosecution for that, and that should be true in the US too. The president shouldn't be above the law. So yeah, I mean, I sort of think with Vance in New York, the prosecutor there, I would be nervous if I were Donald Trump. It might backfire, but I sort of suspect they're going to bring charges. That would be my guess, but who knows?
I think there's enough out there. I mean, there are a handful of cases that are problematic. I mean, even going back to his old attorney, Michael Cohen, right? Yeah,
Yep.
who went to jail for doing something that Trump told him to do. I mean, there's all these things out there where people have gotten into real legal trouble because they were acting on behalf of Donald Trump. So yeah, I would be very, very nervous, despite what the political dynamics may be and all of that power. The law is the law, and Vance is not going to just give up.
And to tie it back again to CPAC now, Trump sent out a fundraising, push immediately after his speech because he raised all sorts of money since he lost the election. Much of it will be used to cover legal expenses, I'm sure. So
And probably to buy one of those golden statues, because
I think it was. I think it was explicit in some of his fundraising. Like it even said in the small print that like 50% of this money goes to legal expenses or whatever. So
he's got a good system. Well, we should probably wrap up on that note. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to tune in for the podcast, which we release on Wednesday. Lots of stuff that's going down this week, so this week's episode should be pretty engaging. So I'll see you then, Phil.
See you on Wednesday, Bill.